Hello and welcome to the final Tribal Council this season. We had our finale episode last night. I'd have to say it was a pretty good season now. What'd you guys think?
Best season ever, per Jeff Probst.
I cannot wait for the New Jersey Tony ticker tape parade.
Does he live? I mean, I guess it's all relative near, but is he near where you live?
He's like maybe 10, 15 minutes away from me.
Really? So you're stalking him?
I mean, in general, not at this
Door to door in traffic.
Yeah, he's about 2 counties away from me, so he's not that far. If I were heading towards New York, I'd pass through Tony Town.
Does he have a big tree in his yard? One you could climb up to and spy on him?
Oh, that for $2 million, he should build a perfect spy shack.
Yeah.
He probably would actually, he might be crazy enough to appreciate a fan who'd find his house, climb up his tree, and just hang out up there just to pay homage to his great.
Or being a cop, is shooting that person out of the tree.
You think he would do that's the first thing he would do? Or would he be like, what the hell are you doing up there? And then there'd be some sort of hi, Tony, I'm JP.
I'm JP from New Jersey. I just wanted to listen to it. Actually, you got to put a water well there. You got to put the water. So he comes out. What the hell is this?
Well, knowing how tall I am, I would just blend in with his garden gnomes.
The funny thing with
get one of those little hats on.
The funny thing with Tony is that when he went to tell Sarah he was going to go get in the spy nest, she had that look on her face that every mom gets when their kid's really pestering. She was like, yeah, okay, yeah. He's like, bring him by, bring him. And he was just, okay, yeah, go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going right now.
My mother's had that look for 46 years.
Right?
Well, he was right. It worked out great.
Yeah.
Everybody allowed everything to roll his way, though. Come on. I mean, that's the talent that he has, so kudos to him. But geez, none of them could wake up and see what was going on. So.
No, like I said last night, Sarah's game got destroyed when Sophie got voted out. She just never seemed to react the right way because she was so loyal to Tony, and that's where she should have said, okay, he's out here to win it all. I'm out here to win it all. I need to get rid of Tony.
She was
she didn't.
She was playing to be Tony's second place, basically.
Well, that day that when that happened, the way she screamed at him, you've never seen anyone talk to Tony like that before on the game. She was legitimately mad. She understood how he had just screwed her game. She was right because let's say Sophie doesn't go. Eventually, Tony would have gone then. So. Sarah was not wrong. And I think with Sophie, maybe she could have won. I don't know. Be an easier match than she was going to have with Tony.
We have Golden Hermit, Randy, and someone named Tamara in the chat. So is there a way to mute Tamara? Is there a way? I don't know.
I'll
spill all the tea.
Yeah. Randy said, I'd love to see the reaction of the contestants who got spied on from the spy nest when they found out what was going on.
Well, he mentioned it in the tribal council, the final tribal they were talking about. He bragged about it. And that would have been the moment to like shoot over to them to see if they were. But he mentioned it, but he didn't really say it. Like, oh, yeah, you guys, I was there. I was hearing everything. I think that would have been more Tony moment.
He handled it pretty. He did because they said it. I forget who said it at tribal, but they said you were able to vote people off and nobody's mad at you.
Right.
I mean, it was nice to see respect at the game because you didn't have those people going, oh, he voted me out. I'm mad. I'm never talking to you again.
Do you think part of that is because all of them have won before?
I think so.
You know what I mean? You're chasing that golden ring, but they've all caught the ring. I mean, sure, they'd like to catch it again, but so they don't have to be as angry or me angry.
Right. Tamara said, I'm okay with Tony winning. Was kind of rooting for Michelle. Wish the ladies would have stuck together. Well, they could have stuck together and voted for Natalie.
Yeah. Well, sounded like Natalie wanted it to be just girls.
I would have liked to have seen, Natalie just had that one moment where she could have put herself against Tony and tried to beat him in fire.
Well, let's talk about that. I think the mistakes she made. I mean, we didn't see it in the editing, but did she go around and watch people, the three of them doing the fire? Did she watch them? Because it was clear to me that Michelle was the best at making fire.
Right.
But she wanted Michelle because I think she knew Michelle probably wasn't going to get any votes. Not that I thought Michelle played a pretty good game considering that she had nobody working with her most of the season. But she was clearly the best at doing the fires from what we saw.
I don't think even if Natalie did the right thing and had Sarah play against Tony and Sarah beats Tony, I still don't think Natalie would have. Natalie only got 4 votes with jury there at the end. I don't really think she would have improved her final results.
I think she could have beat Sarah.
I think she could have too. I disagree.
Sarah, like I said, once Sophie went out of the game, she was making terrible decisions, and and it's not like her. Usually she's quick. She goes, because when Tony's like saying, "What?" I mean, why wouldn't they assume Natalie had an idol? Just assume she has an idol.
I think at that point were they realizing how many? I think they were realizing how many advantages she had for the challenge, and going, "Oh my gosh, she must have used all of the fire tokens. Like, there's no way she had more." The only person who could have maybe thought would have been Tony if he believed that she was the one that got his 6. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The only the people that were getting those advantages and whatnot knew what they were paying. That somebody over there has this many. Somebody over there has this many.
Golden Hermit said, "I don't understand playing for second, especially with $2 million on the line." Yeah, it doesn't sound like Sarah. I don't understand why Sarah, because she's all about winning, which she should be. Miami Mike said, "Natalie said Michelle was supposed to go against Tony, but she had a crying breakdown that day, so she switched an hour before."
Wow.
And then they edited that out and we didn't see it?
Yeah. Because I still would have done it.
But here's the problem with sending Michelle. So if you're Natalie and you're looking and you think, okay, I send Michelle over there against Tony. Now I got to take Sarah. What happens if Michelle loses, and now I got Tony and Sarah sitting next to me? Maybe that's
it might split their vote.
It might. Or maybe she just thought that was too scary. I don't know.
Tony still wins.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But at least putting Sarah against Tony, her hope was that Tony would be knocked out. I don't know.
Is Natalie good at because I don't know if Natalie can even, because they were saying Natalie should go against Tony, and I'm like going, yeah, but what if Natalie loses? I mean, I know that one guy, was it Chris, did it.
Okay, so that was Rob's criticism of Natalie, which I thought was completely bogus, because we say there wasn't a bitter journey against Tony. I was kind of feeling a little bit of bitterness from some of them against Natalie. Why didn't you talk to us on Edge of Extinction? I was here first, and then you showed up. You talked to me. Like, I don't know.
She seemed to have relationships like with. I guess maybe she didn't. I mean, maybe
Ari loves her. Super fan.
Right. I mean, we don't know because we don't see the problem with Edge of Extinction. You don't see a lot of it.
Right.
So you don't. I mean, we saw her hanging around Poverty. We saw her hanging around. I think was it
Tyson?
Tyson. Right. But she was competing. She was competing against Rob too. So.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Rob could be hard to be around. When he's in. And Rob looked like he was done.
When he makes everybody has to sit around camp and nobody can leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, kudos to Rob for making me cry last night.
Anyway.
Jeff didn't even call on him. Amber was answering the question, and then Rob just rudely interrupts, makes me cry. I mean, that was that's not how you sell books, Rob.
He's already sold the books.
I couldn't wait to just get off that island and
Yeah, he was done.
Yeah,
I think so.
He was done. He was defeated. You could just tell that he was like, he was.
It really felt like a goodbye for all of them. There wasn't
Right.
a single one that didn't feel like a goodbye. Like there was some finality to it.
Well, who would come back? Because I said last night, I don't. If I'm Tony, I don't come back. Why would I come back?
I don't think any of these people should come back.
Well, I noticed the ones that got like the most time as Jeff called on them.
Right.
It went in this order: Kim, Tyson, Amber, Rob, Parvati, and Ethan. And I think it's probably easy to say, yeah, that's probably a wrap for all of those people.
I was thinking about this last night too, where this almost seemed like it was closure for these 20 standout champions of this game of Survivor. And moving forward, there really should be no reason for Survivor to like dip back into the well there and pull one of these people back out.
I think they will at some point, because you have to think that some of these people are 10 years gone winners or 10 years
right.
playing. But some of them haven't been. You know, Denise has only been, or no, it was Michelle was just 3 years ago, right?
Right. I can see her. I could see Michelle coming back. She's still young.
Natalie totally has it in the tank to come back again.
Right.
I could see though either one of them going.
Maybe Adam would come back.
But do you think with such a spotlight now on these players of being the champions of champions to do this season, that if they were to come back, I mean, I know we sit here and say, why are you keeping that player around? But it's almost like this is like an extra large target now on your back.
I don't know. I could see it a couple seasons from now, them doing something to kind of, because it's kind of what they do, right?
I still like to see second place finishers. People who finish in second place.
I would like to see that too.
Yeah. What'd you guys call it? Runners up?
Second
Runners
shot.
Up at war.
Because a lot of those people you've had people lose because of bitter juries. You've had people lose because they made a mistake and they got to live with that fact. Maybe they brought the wrong person with them to. Because I still remember when Colby brought Tina, I'm like going, oh, no, bring the cook, bring the chef. I go, she has a chance to beat you. Nobody likes, I can never remember the chef's name.
Weren't they all calling on camp? Weren't they all calling Tina mom or something? It's like,
Tina,
that everyone's calling mom.
She she played a great game and she was really likable. So I said, Colby, no. So when he did that, even you could say Woo, who took Tony with him, is like, what are you thinking? But I'd like to see Keith. That's who Tamara knew who it was. Keith.
Stick to the plan. Yeah. I love him.
No. The other Keith. The Keith that was the chef. Not Keith, the stick to the plan guy.
Stick to the plan, Keith is pretty dope. He's pretty amazing.
But and he's a good player, just has never won. But no, I'd like to see second place finishers. Let's get it done. Jeff, if you're out there listening, Jeff, let's get it done. If you're not listening,
he's in quarantine. He might be listening.
So what did we think? Did the episode need to be 3 hours yesterday?
They definitely couldn't do a reunion show, and they probably had the 3 hours blocked. I think there were, to me, it felt like there were a lot of commercials, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit in the middle there that I felt it didn't need to really be there. I felt especially the segment where you were watching everybody practice making fire. I felt that was like a little bit stretched. So
again, if Natalie would have gone around watching the people making the fire,
then it would have been interesting.
Right.
But the thing with Natalie is, I'm sorry, if I know I don't have to eat, I'm definite 3, and I don't have to. Why would I risk that?
I'm not saying Natalie I'm saying watch the people make the fire. But I guess Miami Mike said she did make the right decision, but she backed down on it.
Yeah.
So
I'll say this though.
I don't even know if she would have beat Tony, Michelle. I don't even know if Tony. You just never know in that situation.
Yeah, you don't know.
If this was last season, which was just a total bomb, that wouldn't have been a great 3-hour final episode. But the fact that this was just such an action-packed, fun-filled season. This was definitely a top season in my book. The 3 hours were fine.
And the person that won, there's no, I know people said, okay, I wanted Michelle, I wanted Natalie, maybe I wanted Denise, but I think there's no arguing that Tony did a great job this season.
Oh, definitely.
Even if you don't like him, I think he did. You could say he did a great job. I was actually spoiled on who the final three were because I was doing the little thumbnail thing. I just put images of Survivor, and there were several pictures. This is your final three released. And I'm like going, come, why do people do that? I go, come, and I'm like going, okay, maybe it's not. And then as it started falling, because I guess CBS had something up that showed the 5 people who were, the
final 5.
And then the Edge of Extinction person came back, and it was Natalie. In one of their promos, they had to take it down. So that was up there next to I'm like going, come on. So I had to sit there for 3 hours knowing who the final 3 were going to be. So after that, I just stayed away from the whole thing, and I said, okay, I'm not going to do anything.
You're going to spoil yourself on who won,
right?
How they were doing the finale. You're going to see the whole thing. God.
It'd be like when Jenna which was it Jenna that won, where they flashed it flashed who won before they announced it.
The ribbon on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, it said Jenna's family or whoever it was. I'm like going.
Yeah.
And it came off real quick, and someone in the back went.
It was like they had it ready for later, but they inserted it too quick. Oops! Somebody got in trouble there.
Well, they could have had that for everybody, kind of like how a news station already has the obituaries for famous people written out.
So they flashed that, and then she just happens to win.
Miami Mike says, interesting thing. Michelle said Adam, Nick, Wendell, and Danny were going to vote for her, but they changed because they were worried Natalie would win over Tony.
That's interesting.
Why don't you just vote for who you think is the best player?
Because, okay, so I know people will say, people meaning one of the people that's talking to me right now, is going to say, well, Natalie was actually voted out of the game. Tony was never voted out of the game, never got a vote. But so he clearly deserves to win before her, right? But I would say that if you're talking about surviving, right, there was not a moment in this game when she was not scratching for survival.
Who, Michelle?
No, Natalie.
Oh, Natalie, yeah.
There was not a moment in this game. Like, she got to the beach and was like, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm going to what happened? And then it was like, and Tony, while he played an extremely good game, I would say it was significantly better on one part of it. You know what I mean? There was a lot of the game for the first half of the until the family visit, right? Where we didn't see a lot of Tony, and we kept going, what? He wasn't getting. I mean, he was getting some things, but it wasn't really Tony.
He was doing what he needed to do, be under the radar.
Right.
Under the radar,
and that's fine because that's what won him. But did he have to play hardcore the whole time? I think she did. So I don't know. And I just think from that there's an argument to be made there that she really had to overcome some real adversities.
I agree with you, but I think Tony did have to play hardcore because he had to be someone different.
I also think
Tony he couldn't be out of control. Tony, he had to be a different Tony.
That's a personal thing. That's not a.
But it's hard to change your personality. I mean, he's a high energy guy, and he's like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
I think Tony also, when you compare the two jury presentations between Natalie and Tony, I think Tony presented himself much better to jury. Where Natalie was she was almost in like some sort of recovery. I mean, she was frantic at some point. She was interrupting Tony a little bit. She's almost in like a panic mode where I think Tony laid out his game to jury very well. And I think that's what separated him from a 10-4 versus a 7-6.
I don't think either one of them really highlighted the super things that they did that nobody knew about. Do you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, Tony could have gone on and like really bazinged them. I mean, that wouldn't have made him mad. They would have been like, oh my God, I had no idea. They would have been more impressed if he had told them some of the things that he did. And so I think he left
Well-
some, but Natalie really left her resume on the floor.
Yeah.
Because-
I think Tony also had Sarah and Ben were really
Sure.
campaigning for him. I mean, it was obvious. I mean, especially Ben. Ben's like,
Whatever. Maybe they made some deal under the table. Who knows?
Did you guys notice? Did you notice also at jury? I know Sophie was sick the day before,
yeah.
but at the final jury, did you notice the remarkable resemblance between her and Marcy from the Peanuts comic strip?
Oh,
Oh my god!
No, I didn't notice that. I noticed she didn't stand, so she must have been really sick.
yeah. Maybe she shouldn't have been there infecting. That's where we got COVID. Damn it.
It was all Marcy from the Peanuts.
Sophie.
Ohio State says, let's see, the fire making challenge between Tony and Sarah was epic. Definitely the most intense fire making challenge I've seen. I agree. It was I mean, I knew who else, because I was spoiled, who was going to win, but it was a pretty good. I thought Sarah was going to run out of the tough stuff, and her fire was going to go out, because Jeff kept saying it. I go, oh, her fire's going to go out. Her fire's going to go out. But nope, it just and I do like because another thing, Tony, he showed his emotions. I mean, when he was crying, I believed it. He was, when they were both hugging each other and crying, I believed it. And she's like, you get out there and you win the thing. And Tony's bawling like a baby. I didn't think it was for jury votes.
And they're kissing each other, and I was like, it was so believable. It was a little uncomfortable. I was like, already.
You know, your wife's watching
I
this.
love you.
Well, they love themselves, each other as friends.
So.
Well, what could any of the other players have done to get Tony out? I mean, let's talk about the Ben move where Sarah, I thought, made her biggest mistake, one of her biggest mistakes of the game, agreeing to vote Ben out. First, it was, you're getting strategy from Ben. And I'm like going, because you got to build a resume. Well, it doesn't do any good to have a resume if you're not there. And
Yeah.
why would I vote Ben out? Ben was the number one person to take out Tony in the fire challenge.
Right.
Ben was not going to win. And it also kept the alliance of Tony, Sarah, and Ben strong. You had the at least three chances.
Is that just her so afraid, or no, wanting to take Michelle to the end so bad because she thinks Michelle's the goat who's going to get no votes?
Well, she was right, but still.
But is that she's just like, well, I could take Ben, but he might get some votes, but I could take Michelle, because that's really who she had to decide between, right? I
was watching, when I was watching it, why would you do this?
Well,
This makes no sense.
That final three would have been Sarah, Ben, and Natalie. Does Sarah beat Natalie in that situation?
You guys are all assuming he would beat that he was an amazing fire builder. I know he wanted it, but again, I think those things can be so iffy. You can be the best of something, but you can have three advantages and almost lose the challenge. Do you know what I mean? I just think in that moment, you never know. You can be good at something and you can biff it. So I'm just saying.
I get it, but you have a better chance with. Again, Ben's not. There was no. But Ben, forget the fire challenge. Ben is there. They were tight. Sarah, Tony, and Ben were like this.
Well, it was Sarah, Sophie, and Ben first before Tony came along. Right?
And Tony realized that and made his best move of the season by getting rid of Sophie. That was his best, and then also calming Sarah down enough so she doesn't go ballistic and go after him.
Well, Tony did the thing that I always think people should do. If you have an ally in the game that you're putting, this is your ride or die, and your ride or die's got another person that they're allied with, you got to get rid of that other person, because you can't give your ride or die a chance to bail on you. So he got rid of. That
was a great move, and like I said, it blew up Sophie's. Obviously, Sophie's game, and Sarah just never recovered. But I just don't understand. There was no
recovered either.
Like Ben, I'm like going, why is getting Ben out of the game huge on my resume? What Ben? I don't think people consider Ben a great player.
Was she going nuts at that point? Because
that's what he has said. He goes, you can put that on your resume. You got me out, and I'm like going,
he kind of sold her on it.
Yeah.
When she was kind of emotional about it, and I think you're so close to the end, and you're really getting super cuckoo at that point.
Right.
That you think that this person's doing this monumental favor for you, sacrificing themselves for you, and so you just take it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
There's got to be some weird.
I never saw it. It wasn't like she was taking out Sandra or Tony in this game, or Boston Rob. I mean, it was. I mean, I'd hate to keep bashing Ben, but
You really thought he was that good?
yeah, I just was like going, "What? I don't get it."
Ben is one of your only strengths in taking out Tony. Should it go to fire? That's probably, and it's really the only way you're going to win this game is to take Tony out, because I can't think of any combination of players that beats Tony in a final three.
Because even if she had kept Ben to take Tony out, then she sit next to Ben, who took Tony out. So now she's still got someone who's got a bigger resume than her.
I don't.
What, Ben?
Yeah, and I think she
If
could.
he had taken Tony out, if he had taken Tony out,
He had no chance.
you don't think so? You don't think that they would have respected, like, because they thought Tony was the king? Well, it wasn't Sarah that took him out.
Tony's the king, but Ben is not. Ben's just a follower.
But maybe that's what she thought.
And without all those idols he got in his first season, he doesn't win. I mean, I like Ben. I hate to bash him, but I got to be honest. His strategy. I mean, any move he made. I mean, Tony's talking. Look, we got to get Denise. We got to put votes on Denise. And what does Ben say? No. I mean, he's extremely loyal. I mean, for a game for Survivor, he's extremely loyal. I mean, you can't fault him on that. But it's you can't be that loyal in this game.
Yeah.
Ohio State said Michelle's the only Survivor player to play at least twice to make it to the final tribal counts without ever getting a vote. What about what's his name? You know who I'm talking about?
Michelle did have a vote this year, though. She did get votes in tribal, or not final. I see what you're saying. Probably.
No, the final tribal. But
never mind.
What's the name of that guy that he screwed over the basketball player, Scott Pollard, little guy, would climb the trees, hardest worker in the world. Aubrey's season, the season that Michelle won.
Oh,
come on, someone in the chat, you gotta know who I'm talking about.
Mal? Is it Mal? He says,
remember we had to have closed captions sometimes because his English was broken. What was his name?
don't bother me.
He was kind of cuckoo.
Ty. Thanks, Sunshine.
Oh, Ty.
Ty.
Oh, God, of course.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't remember Ty. Now, didn't he go twice and not get a vote?
Oh, maybe, possibly. Oh, I'll see. We'll let us know.
Anyway, we'll find out. But no, I just think I just was
voted out in Game Changers.
See, I thought Yao Man.
Oh, so he's been 3 times.
Now Yan. I don't know what I thought.
Has Ty been 3 times?
I have no idea, but he's lovable.
I can't remember. Hardest worker in the world.
Right. Chat's right.
Being a hard worker doesn't get you any votes. No, but I just thought
laying around camp doing nothing either. Those people go home.
Yeah, but again, he was the hardest worker, and not a vote, not a single vote. But that's okay. I'm not bitter. What about anything with the immunity challenges? What about Natalie having such a huge advantage and almost blowing it?
Oh my God.
That was crazy.
Because her mistakes were silly too. It was like she didn't have to go up and down. She's at the post. All she had to do was untangle herself. She couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then the thing, she fell off the beam. Then she didn't have one of the hooks linked. It's like
right.
Her mistakes were really like clumsy. Like
she had to catch up to Wendell basically.
But she was so far ahead. And that's the thing there that shows, even though she stumbled at the beginning, Wendell got to the puzzle first, then Boston, then Yul, then Sophie. She was 5th to the puzzle. Or to the ball piece.
I don't think Yul had any advantage, and he got there quick.
I think we're saying bye to Yul too, and that makes me sad. I wish we could put him in a time machine.
It was nice to see, but it was nice to see him again.
Yeah, no, he's a very likable person. I'd let him babysit my kids. He's that likable.
I'm sure he's listening to this saying, I can't wait to do that.
Well, that's my scale of likable. Would I let my kids stay with them unattended or not?
He goes, yeah, I lost out in the $2 million, but I got a job babysitting. So there.
And you don't have,
that was paid.
Chris, you don't have to feed them because you know you can go 39 days without eating.
Right?
Let's see. Ohio State said Ty has played twice, made the final treble the first time, and finished in fourth, being last voted out the second time. Okay. All right. So Ty wasn't in the finals twice in a row. I can't remember his name. How am I supposed to remember his game? So,
right.
I would like to ask Golden Hermit, if that is your real name now, by the way. Why do you wish Natalie had won? And do you guys?
Oh, I see there.
Yeah. Do either of you wish Natalie had won over Tony? I mean, not for fantasy league points, but
no, really.
I picked Natalie.
Okay.
I don't play fantasy league based upon what I think's gonna happen. It's all from the heart.
Oh, okay. I win.
I will say this.
Kermit the Frog. I don't pick a Kermit. So
I wanted Natalie to win. I could have lived with Natalie winning, but I hope this is the last time we have Edge of Extinction. I don't like it.
They need something new.
Yeah, it takes. I'll say this: I'm blue in the face. It shouldn't be. They should come back at the merge and have to at least play with the other contestants. I think it's a huge. If Natalie had done a better job with the jury, maybe smooth over with Rob, and I mean she was there with him from day one. She was with them all.
That right there is why I think she left her resume on the floor, because she needed to explain to the jury members that had been on Edge of Extinction how she did all the things. Because she won stuff and did stuff that they did not know about. Some of them did not know about it. And you could see the ones that did know about it were like, hey, Natalie, why don't you tell us how you did this? And she's like, oh, yeah. But that was the thing they knew. She needed to go, I got on Edge of Extinction this day. Then so-and-so showed up. We did a log thing. I got it. One token. She needed to go through it like that and just show how much she even though being out there, not knowing what was going on, she had her fingers in the game.
Influenced everybody else.
Or also maybe stress how hard it was to be on Edge of Extinction.
Yes. Because
they all said it was a nightmare. I mean, it was a nightmare.
They all said it was worse than being over in the other camps, right?
Right. So, and like Golden Hermit just said, kind of agreed with me, is that they come back too late in the game. Everyone should be back by the merge.
They should do
that way. You have to play.
From then on down, it's an individual game.
They should do Edge of Extinction where they actually just send them home, and then they fly them all the way back, and you have to fight jet lag just to survive.
Tamara says, "Let's see. I hate to agree with Jack. I was okay with Extinction a couple of times, but that's enough."
I hate to agree with Jack too.
Because also the people in the game have no control over Edge of Extinction. The players there. The players at Edge of Extinction had some control because they could send, like they sent Tony the disadvantage. So it's almost unfair. You're playing two different games. And to me, it's just like, okay, I get we're trying to mix things up. And this season, of course, you're seeing some of your favorite survivors. And once they got voted, at least we got to still see them. We still saw Boston Rob. We still saw Poverty and so Tyson and all the other players. But
what if the players that were in the game still were sending punishments over to Edge of Extinction?
That would work.
You'd like that? Or what if, I was thinking of this too, is what if when you go to Edge of Extinction, you're fighting over there to stay in the game where you could still get voted out. Like the vote out occurs over at Edge of Extinction. It's almost like you're stepping, the main game is not as tough, but when you get into Edge of Extinction, that's where you're fighting for your survival and can be removed from the game.
So you're saying that once they get like 3 or 4 people, they start voting on people. Okay, say that. So it's Natalie, Amber, Danny, and who was it? Ethan was the first 4. Whoever the first 4 were, they go, okay, we're going to vote Ethan out tonight.
Right.
So Ethan's out of the game. He goes to Ponderosa. Is that what you're saying?
Something like that, yeah.
Like a secondary vote out.
And one of those players is your idol.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, instead of a vote out, because a vote out gets to be too social, I think. I think it would be cool if it's like there are 4 players, like you said, and they say there are 3 of this item. They show them an item hidden around the idol or hidden around the island. The first 3 that find it get to stay. The one that doesn't get one goes home, like musical chair style. You have them just running like crazy all the time looking for stuff.
But I could live with that. But then also they have to come back when the merge happens.
Yes.
Whoever has the most wins comes back when the merge. Okay, Natalie had the most wins. She comes back at the merge, and now she has to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because she had tons of information. She knew. She knew what was going on. So now Tamara is Jerry. Oh my God, this is mind-boggling. Anyway,
so they did edge twice, right? They did edge the first time, and then this time there were fire tokens involved. So at least they kind of tweaked it a little bit.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Now, if they did an edge idea, but they tweaked it again, would that be okay? I mean, it'd have to be significantly different. The thing is, you have to keep changing it because you can never have it be the same. Because if you do, then the people who come on know what to expect. Like Tony, who watches the show and knew that she probably had an idol when she came back. But
Miami Mike says again, most wins. It pays off. It pays off to be the worst player and get voted out first.
Yeah, I vaguely, and I see Golden Hermit even mentioned season 7 where they had the Outcast tribe.
Right.
And had to vote who they wanted to send back into the game. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. Golden Hermit also said doesn't like the fire tokens. Do we like the fire tokens?
I was on board. I mean,
I'm all for the fire tokens. Get rid of all the idols.
I would like that a little bit more. And maybe, I mean, the fire tokens, except for giving Natalie that huge advantage at the end there and a couple jars of peanut butter that we saw, I wish there were more incentive to use the fire tokens to see.
Well, go ahead.
Were they mad because she didn't share the? I mean, we don't know we know she shared it with Tyson, the peanut butter. Did she not share it with everybody? The peanut butter.
They didn't show, but they showed a significant amount gone while she was standing there eating it.
Because they seemed bitter. Rob seemed bitter.
Maybe that's how Sophie got sick.
Eating her peanut butter.
Well, she said, and I thought it was logical. She said, I was doing all of these things. That was the chance for her to tell all the things she'd been doing. And
Right.
I'm doing all of these things, and I'm starting to get paranoid, and I don't want you guys to all know I'm doing those things because you guys are still my competition. So I'm trying to stay quiet. So I'm just going to go keep busy so I don't spill the beat. You know what I mean? Because why would you? That would have been that was her good alibi there, I thought. But she didn't go. She should have got in there and said, hey, Rob, how many fire tokens did you have? Oh, okay. And this is how many I had. And explain how many, what it all bought. Because they didn't know that she'd given Tyson an idol.
Right.
Unless Tyson told them. They didn't know she got, peanut butter and besides just the 3 advantages.
Yeah, she could have said I gave Tyson an idol in case he got back in.
You know why? Because Tyson was nice to me, Rob.
Tamara says, is it Tamara or Jerry? Don't agree with the automatic replacement of idols when they're used. Your thoughts? I agree. I don't like it. Once they're out of the game, I think they should be out of the game.
Yeah,
especially towards the end.
The hidden immunity idols I'm kind of done with. I like how we're coming up with different ideas of how to use them, whether it's, you're putting yourself at risk by opening up what could be a hidden idol. I'll say it again, Jeff, if you're listening, make another player your hidden idol. That would be so great. Something with incentive to keep somebody around.
Right. It could be someone not even in your alliance.
Exactly.
I suggested on Reddit and got torn apart. They did not like that idea at all. But it's just like
because the question becomes, once you play your human idol, do they then just get thrown in the fire?
Well, yeah, if you don't like them, especially. No, but you play the idol and you say, okay, Sandra is my idol.
It's interesting.
What? I go, yep,
I've always loved you, Sandra. You're the best.
I mean, somehow you don't get to pick who your idol is. It's almost like you're. Again, it's been like
idols, but
we've been saying all season. If you're out looking for an idol, fine, but you could find a disadvantage. So I think that, and then you also say, okay, my idol is Sandra. I'm not even in alliance with Sandra.
Exactly.
Keep Sandra. What am I going to do?
Now all of a sudden I got to gussy up to her and act like I like her. Wait a minute. Yeah.
You keep your idol. You keep your idol in the game to get to the end, and then you lose to your idol. That would be amazing. I'm saying that seriously.
Well, why didn't you play your idol sooner then, silly? Gosh.
Well, your idol doesn't go out when you play them, but I'm just saying, like, if you get to Final 5 and that's where you play your idol. I mean, it would be kind of awkward if you go home with your idol in your pocket. But
well, also, do you go up to the player that is the idol person? Do you go up to and say, "Yeah," I go, "You're my you're my idol." I mean, you were
my high school crush.
Yeah. Do you tell that person or not?
It depends on who you are. Nick does.
Golden Herman has a good one. You can only play your human idol if they've won immunity. They won immunity challenge.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard.
That would actually be something along the lines of where Survivor buddy system, where like Jack, you and I are paired off as buddies. If you win immunity, I'm immune. Something like that. I don't know.
I could do that.
You get voted out, I'm out. You wouldn't want anyone to know.
I just want my amazing race to come back.
You'd be like,
Miami Mike says, what if the idol is American Idol and you get to pull Ryan Seacrest out of your pocket?
That's if he wants to come out of your pocket.
That's an overrated idol. So
so overrated.
Ryan Seacrest.
The other guy that was on that first season of American Idol has got to be kicking himself. He's like, because they were the same guy.
I forget the guy's name, but I made a comment about Ryan Seacrest being overrated a couple years ago on Twitter, and he saw it.
He liked
and
it.
started. He liked it, and he was tweeting me back and forth for a while. Then I don't know what happened to him. I can't remember his name.
I guess we'll never have him on the show.
Yeah,
they were the same guy. Could have gone either way, and that guy's like, "Oh!"
Yeah, I made a career decision. Whoops. Anyway, I think there's things they could do to change the game and put more strategy back into the game.
Okay, I'd be okay with them taking the idols away altogether if they still have some clever way for people to try to do something to save themselves. Do you know what I mean? There has to be, I think it's clever to find something that maybe that the person who's not the best socially or the best, right, that maybe they can use their brain to somehow find some way to still save themselves.
Well, again, you have where, okay, I'm going to go out and look for an idol, but lose a vote. There should be some risk.
I'm going to use
I'm going to look in the tree because there's nothing to me worse than watching these people go around looking, except for Tony at night when I thought he was going to burn down the jungle.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He's not a fireman.
To me, it's boring watching people go hunting for the idol.
I'm just excited for next season.
Well, Jeff said there's going to be something in the fall.
Okay, so here I was thinking about this because you had asked, how would they even do that? What if? Because when they're over in Fiji, they're all together anyway. That crew is in the people who are running the show, not just the contestants, the crew. They're not going back home. So could they do something where every single person in production, every single person that's going to be a contestant somehow quarantines themselves for like whatever the amount of time is? Now we're all off quarantine. We're all going together as a group to this place. They're having no outside contact with anyone else. That might actually be the only way a TV show could get filmed right now.
Could they do it in a studio? Where you can, like Big Brother, where you're controlling what comes in and what comes out. You don't have the outside, I know Big Brother has those things that come from the outside, clowns, whatever they are.
I think the problem with that would be that you're still a Big Brother style. You're still supplying them with supplies that they need. So that's outside getting in. Do you know what I mean? Whereas,
but in Survivor, you have
there's no
rights.
interacting with them in Fiji.
I mean, there's got to be several hundred people involved behind the scenes, and I mean, you're just increasing the chances that something could happen.
Sure, but I think that would be the only way they do it. And if those guys want to work and they're like, yeah, we're going to shoot a season and we're going to do it in 39 days, sure, I'll go down there for 5-6 weeks and work and then have the rest of the year off. Sure, I mean that's what lots of actors do anyway.
Sunshine Breeze said crew is still outside, but if you did it like Big Brother style, you could have less crew because you have cameras all.
That's true. Maybe you just go back to a more simplistic Survivor because they didn't have all the super overhead drones. We got it, drones. That's how we beat the pandemic and we get to have TV again.
But they use drones.
I know they could use it for everything. Someone's talking by the campfire. There's a drone like just right here.
My question is, I thought they had started filming. And they had to suspend filming, right?
You made it sound like they hadn't yet.
Yeah.
Right?
So I thought they had started. So I guess they hadn't.
Well, when would they have started? February? Isn't that usually?
And Miami Mike said something. Did you notice it just said anybody 16 or over can apply?
No.
Are they doing some kind of family Survivor?
No.
Because I don't want to see a 16-year-old going against a 40-year-old.
Hey, Family Amazing Race was an amazing season.
My house is full of teenagers. I really don't want to see on TV. Not Survivor. Come on, can mommy do something nice?
But I don't know how you're going to have it come back in the fall if you're not filming.
They'd have to start filming it in like July and then immediately just rush to production.
Why couldn't they just do it live?
They could do Celebrity Survivor and just make it like 3 weeks.
They've always had it pre-filmed and done, but they really probably could. I mean, look at what we're watching on TV right now. Everybody's doing Zoom call TV. Okay. So if this fall we're looking for Survivor and it's maybe not so slick, it's edited a little clunky maybe, but we're getting it and they're cranking it and we're only like a week behind them or something, you could still film and then air. You know what I mean?
Right. I think Jerry's going back to the human thing. If they would start without teams already picked, it would make people make their own alliance and avoid the automatic group alliance would happen. So no teams, just 20 players.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Didn't they do that one season where they dumped them all together?
Yeah, but whenever they do something interesting like that, they bail on it in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, after 3 weeks.
Come on, no, let it play out. Let's see what happens. Putting them all together would be more social game for sure. And I think it almost would be more to show for them. More people interacting, more alliances.
Give them all handheld cameras and let them film their own season.
GoPros.
Oh.
Can you imagine? We'd see them live doing their own. It'd be like Zoom, but for the challenges, we see what everyone else was seeing.
It would be like, like that movie. What was that movie? Hardcore Henry or something? I couldn't sit through it. That first person perspective movie, forget it. Yeah, Survivor nauseous.
If you cannot throw up, then you're the survivor.
Oh, God.
So yeah, there's like I guess a lot of twists they can do.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. Clearly they have something up their sleeve.
But someone suggested last night during that I wish they'd go to different locations again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the different locations because that was part of the where are they going? Because that's the best part about Amazing Race. Yeah, is you get to see. It's like okay, I'd like to go there. Oh, I never want to go there.
Well, you see places. Oh my God, I never even thought it would look like that. That's
right.
That changes my perspective on that. So
and you have the language barrier and everything else in Amazing Race that it's makes it a fun show to watch. But I wish they would go. Why don't we just go to Alaska? I said last night, go to Alaska. Just watch out for the bears, right?
There's plenty of places that they can get privacy. There's plenty of Someone had said the national park system. Why not work with national parks? You could it could be like a thing at the end of every show, give to the national park service. We want
Go to play at Jellystone Park.
We want to, they could go to different
Watch out for those bears.
and funnel some money into the national park system. I mean, we need to keep those lands for us.
I wonder if they would, especially if they're going to try to air something in the fall where they're more in control. I wonder if they would actually film something in the United States somewhere. In a park.
That'd be super interesting, I think, honestly.
My Max says no bikinis in Alaska Jack. CBS wants visuals. Yeah, I get it.
Sometimes what you don't see, sometimes your imagination can give you a little better picture. Just saying.
So yeah, we've solved all the problems for Survivor, but going back to this where does it rank in your favorite episodes of all time? I mean, favorite seasons of all time. It was definitely a fun season. I thought it was a great season. A lot of strategy I thought happened in this. Again, I still think that I'm one of the old school people that likes the, I was thinking about season 1 where Richard, it was only a few people playing that game. Right. You had Richard Hatch, you had Kelly, you had, I mean, most of them were just there they thought it was a vacation, whereas Richard Hatch knew, hey, I can win $1 million, so these people aren't playing the game. But
no one had really thought all the way to Z yet. He was already at Z and they were like on B.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I still like kind of the old school game where it's up to you.
Perception. I don't know that they could ever go back to that though, only because perception is so different now. Like that first season, they weren't going, oh, they're a threat. We got to get them out. I can't beat them. They were like, wow, I'm so impressed. You know what I mean? They were so much nicer to each other.
Yeah.
Like cheering each other on.
Except Sue at the end.
Well, yeah. But that was because she finally got to talk. Jeff.
Maybe I should use my CBS Access and break down and finally watch that season.
Oh, you've never seen the first season?
I never saw the first 2 seasons.
You got to watch it, but it's a lot of quiet time. You don't have Jeff. I think spoke more in this last episode last night than he did the first 2 seasons.
Because he was a nobody those first 2 seasons.
I don't remember him
guy on Survivor. Oh yeah.
I don't remember him saying, "You got to concentrate. You got to put everything out of your." It's quiet.
He's letting them concentrate.
Well, I'm not going to hear Richard with 2 balls in motion.
No, but you see him.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, pixelated. No, I would say if anyone's looking for something to fill their Survivor or reality show hole, because clearly we all have them. Yeah, go back and watch early seasons of Survivor that you missed. Even if you watched it, it's been so long ago now, you probably will tons of stuff that you'll forgotten.
Yeah, I started watching it about 8 months ago. Then I stopped because I fell behind the other shows. But Jerry said I might have missed it, but I thought they never showed the entire list of what fire tokens could be used for. Would have been nice to know. See. Yeah.
Then we can decide if we really liked it or not, right?
I also one of the things I like. What I enjoy more about Big Brother just a little bit is the fact that I get to participate. And I know Survivor can't do that, but the fact that I can vote, I can pick, I can contribute to what the punishments are and stuff like that. I wish there was a way to make the reality show of Survivor just a little bit more reality.
Well, I think it's a different social game. I mean, right. It's obviously their social is the people, but again, so that's how Survivor used to be. It was strictly the players. They dictated how the game went. Slowly, production started going, okay, what if we did this? We'll do this. We'll switch the tribes up. But they started controlling
idols and this and that.
Yeah. Let's see. Rose said, I was just thinking yesterday that maybe Jack, Colleen, and Jay could do season 1 rewatch podcast. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Have you heard Jay?
Somebody's completely done. As done as Rob.
Is the retirement official?
It's official.
He didn't even want him to let him finish last night.
Well, it was after what was 1 o'clock.
Well, whatever. It's the last one. I mean, I don't know. Commitments and all, you know. If you're going to do something right, do it right.
Let's see. Tamara said she watched the first season recently and it's interesting, but so different. You forget how different. Yeah, it's different.
I so loved, and JP would probably enjoy this too, every single person got to bring a luxury item from home.
Yeah, they did that the first 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah. And it was something that you could bring from home that would just maybe pick your spirits up, or, you know, so somebody might bring, like, I don't know, picture of the kids. Or
when I applied all those times, it always had bring, what luxury item would you bring? So I always try to think. At first, I put something, you know, basic, and then after I was like, okay, maybe they're looking for something out there. So I would try to think different things I could bring that, you know.
But see, that first season, it wasn't out there. It was like, oh, that's a good idea. You know, I'd take a first aid kit. I'd take an extra pair of shoes, or I'd take, you know, something that it seemed super logical, right? And then that was where the first little bit of like them using something in the game and manipulating it, because then people start saying, wait. If I'm going to go out there, I'm going to take something that's going to influence the other players. They're going to like me if I take that. Oh, I bought a big bottle of wine or whatever, you know.
Right.
I don't remember now what it was, but that was the first part. You were like, ooh.
I said sandbox. That wasn't very.
I would take a sandbox.
My ice maker.
Okay, I don't wonder anymore.
I try to be different. They also said, who would you want to play? Who in the real world would you want to play with? I got graphic a couple times with people that you'd want to kill, but
jeez,
I had Osama bin Laden one time. He got things like he could bring his neck. I was trying different things to get on there, but
they would add. That's a question on there that they ask you.
It was a question. It was question. It didn't say you want to bring us on, but there was different. I'm trying to remember all the questions.
Who would I most want to play with? I don't know. Somebody I could beat.
Yeah. Whose game is most like your game? And you're like going, I don't know. It just they're probably not even.
That's a horrible question, because that's a question that's only going to come up and go, so you thought your game was the most like Sandra.
Yeah.
That's just laugh at you in your bio, right? Like,
well, because you know that they get 60 to 80,000 for they get like 60 to 80,000
every tribal, right?
Every season, and it's funny because I used to. One season I got a call. I've told the story before. I got a call from a 310 area code.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Oh my God, this is it.
Survivor call.
So I go, hello, and they go, would you like to buy a Girls Gone Wild subscription? I go,
could have been.
And then after I hung up, I said, no, wait a minute. Why the F would I want that? And then I go, that was probably a test question, and I probably blew it. I don't know. I don't know. I just was like, out of nowhere, I go, why would I get it? It was the same 310 because it was a 310 number. Because I would go on the Survivor Sucks website, survivorsucks.com, and they would say, okay, they have people that were in production would let you know, okay, there's another week of phone calls going out. So it's like, but anyway, I never, the only call I got, closest thing I got was Girls Gone Wild.
So wait, were you supposed to say just laugh?
I don't know. I was so disappointed. I was so mad.
That's how they've got so many jerks on the show. They probably said yes.
Yeah.
That explains last season.
But based on the questions that you were seeing, I really, really wonder then if somebody at one point did fill on their application, what real world person do you want to compete against? Did somebody put down, Blair from Facts of Life? There you go.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I'm just like Joe, and her and I'd be best friends.
I really think I could beat John Rocker.
Richard Brown said, "Not enough Zamboni, Jack." Yeah.
I mean, it's a sufficient Zamboni, but
needed more Zamboni and less Jack on that. Anyway.
Oh.
And after all these years, Jack is still buying Girls Gone Wild videos unrelated to Survivor casting.
It's all,
Mind me, Mike.
all research.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, okay, if they maybe anyway.
Maybe
Yeah,
you would have bought the subscription, and then they would have came to the house, and then you would have watched them. At some point in the video, was going to flash up a card. Jack, you've been selected to be on Survivor. Get packed right now. But you didn't buy them, and you didn't watch them, so you didn't get to go.
It was,
No, I was so pissed that that's what it was. I'm like going because I was like hypervent. Oh my god, I got. You can't be nervous because you have to because they don't want people on there to go and the confessional is going. They want people that are going to be that can.
It was written.
Do better. I'm doing now.
You had a lot of time to sit and think about this.
Yeah, it was written. It was written across somebody's wet T-shirt on one of the videos.
Anyway, that was my closest I got to getting a call from Survivor.
It was your first challenge, and you failed.
Yeah, I did. I felt bad because I used to feel bad for Jay because he would film the videos, and I would go, "No, I don't like this one. No, I don't like this one. No, I don't like this one." And he filmed the one with me on the Zamboni, and it was like 24, 25 degrees outside, so you can imagine how cold it was in the rink.
Nice.
I was freezing. I did donuts. I did donuts and everything on the ice and with the Zamboni and.
Well, I mean, it's probably okay because every boy growing up has to hear at some point their father scream at them and ask them, "Are they stupid?" I'm sure that happens. The rite of passage.
Then he took the video. He took the video to school to edit it. Ohio State asked a good question, and we can ask the people in the chat this too. What are your 5 top players, all-time Survivor players, now that the season is over? That's tough. I'm writing them down now.
I didn't bring a pen.
Let's see. What about people in the chat so we can?
And people in the chat, what are your 2 favorite Survivor recap shows? Of all time, or of just people that were in this episode in this season?
Oh no, I think they're saying.
What are your top 5? Who are the top 5 players to ever play Survivor?
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Miami Mike says Rob, Tony, Sandra, Tyson, Russell. It's hard to argue with that one.
I'm gonna run and get a pen so I can play. And I'm gonna write my grocery list.
I have too many.
I'm gonna go. Go first.
I'll say mine: Rob, Poverty, Tony, Sandra, and I gotta go with the original Richard Hatch, just because he kind of dictated how the game was supposed to go. And Jerry just said Rob, Poverty, Russell, Sandra, and Richard. I would say Russell, but he was such an a-hole that he cost himself the game. I would have voted for him.
He just did not know how to not be cocky, but yeah, I think that just at that 39 days that just rubs everyone the wrong way, and
I still would have voted for him because I always said if I got on there, I'm going to vote for the player that was the best player. Golden Hermit says, let's see, Tina, Sandra, Ethan, Natalie, and Cassandra. Oh, I forgot about Natalie. God.
Oh,
this is tough. This is not easy.
I'm going to take Sandra off my list and put Natalie.
Really? Taking the queen off the list? She won twice. I can't take her off the list.
She won twice, but she wasn't my popular vote. My list is Rob, Russell, Tony. I added Natalie, Poverty at the end, and then an honorable mention for Rupert.
Rupert was a terrible player.
But I like him. I like him.
That his first season, he did get a little bit.
I want to be a pirate.
Oh, come on.
It was, as far as strategy, He was a terrible player.
They created an extra category just to give him $1 million.
I'm not saying likable. Who doesn't like Rupert?
Yeah.
But he was look at him in Amazing Race. He was god awful Amazing Race.
You have to forget all that. I'm telling you.
But the Survivor, he was so gullible and just believe he was Rupert. Love Rupert to death.
Rupert,
terrible player.
Rupert could be my executioner, and I'd still be giddy.
His first season on the show, he has so much heart. He is the heart of the show. He is so dedicated to his tribe. He's just so good that first season. So yes, after that, he never really regained his glory, much like Colby. But that first season is just all Rupert's gold.
Yeah, he's he's a fun player to watch.
You just go, oh my God, that's the guy.
But
he's good at challenges too.
But he's good at chat. But you have to have some strategy.
Yeah,
and he wasn't good. He wasn't good at it.
He needed a partner that was going to partner up with him so that they could have the best of.
It's like when JT had what's his name, Fishback.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He needed someone. But Rupert, yeah, it's definitely. I should have put Rupert on my list, but I did not. And I'm looking at what people put on their list, and boy, I just have to say, my excuse.
I forgot about Tom.
Oh, yeah. I am a Gemini, and that means I am.
Four-way flashers: Rob, Tom, Poverty, Sandra, and that Michael guy who burnt his hands. I think he would have gone far.
No.
Well, that season, if it turns out he was a, he's a pedophile. So, but he could have gone a long way in that game if he wouldn't have fallen into the fire.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Correct. Didn't he actually? He actually was overcome by the smoke because he was sitting too dang close to it and it was right in his face, and he literally passed out into the fire.
Right. Jerry says Rupert's great, but might have to lean towards Ty, the chicken guy, as one of my favorites.
I can't pick 5. I can't.
Well, I thought we were picking 5 of the greatest players. Like I said, just don't.
My favorite players.
5 of the greatest.
No, my favorite players. They don't have to be great.
Your favorite
winners.
I don't know.
My favorite.
If I went favorite players, then it's a whole different story.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I was leaning for favorite players.
I like Cerie's one of my favorite players of all time. I love Cerie because her first season when she said, I've never been camping. This is out of my element. I sit on the couch. I said, she's not going anywhere. And she made it pretty far into the game. And she was always fun. Jerry says, Ozzy. I like Ozzy, but I don't want to see him back. I've seen enough of Ozzy.
For them to be back. This was your favorite 5 players of all time. Wait.
What about, what was her name with the...
Top 5 Survivor players, meaning like
a woman who had every job in the world.
Debbie.
Oh my God. There's lists of top. Like I want top 5 craziest players. Top 5 most lovable.
4-way flashers.
Top 5 most what?
4-way flasher says Rudy. And yeah, Rudy was no filter.
I clearly just like my list is all just the boys that I would have wrote on the outside of my notebook in junior high. Those are the 5 I picked. Mine would be Rob because that first season, or when he saves for Amber and the little glint he gets in his eye. I mean, old Rob's not as great, but young Rob, really awesome. Yule, I loved Yule.
Yule's great, yeah.
Then his partner in crime, Ozzy, and I'm telling you guys, go back and watch that season. That's the best season ever. That was the 4 tribes, the 4 worlds apart. Worlds apart. Is that World Apart?
Might have been, yeah.
What was it called? That's the one. Watch that one. And then I have to put on there also Malcolm and Joey Amazing. Those are my favorite players. And I don't know what they have in common, but there's something.
Nice hair. Jerry said forgotten his name, but who was the former football player? Oh, what's his name?
Culpepper.
Culpepper.
I don't know sports things. Culpepper. Yeah.
Tom, the guy that killed the shark. Rob Cesternino. I could have said him too. One of my all-time favorites. I like Colby. Colby was good. I like Kelly from season 1 too. And they eat rats. They eat rats, and they actually eat rats.
Ah,
On the first one?
Yeah.
I think I remember that like being in the news and stuff.
I'm fairly certain that first season they weren't doing like food rewards or anything at that point, were they?
I don't think so, no.
There was like, that's why they were so hungry and then it was like, after that first season, they're like, we got to rethink this food thing because no one's going to come out here and play if they have to eat rats.
Right. Randy said also the quarterback from Houston. Pastorini? Oh, Jimmy Johnson was on Survivor too.
Oh,
all right, yeah.
Yeah. Miami favorite.
Who was the quarterback? Was it Dan Pastorini? No, I don't think it was Dan Pastorini.
Go
Oliver
ahead.
Luck? Warren Moon? No.
I don't know.
Was it Lisa Walker?
Scotty Vanderkamp. That's who it was.
Who, the quarterback?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're just making that up?
Yeah, because you guys are saying names to me that don't mean anything.
They're actually names that were quarterbacks for the Houston Oilers.
Well, good.
Unless it's the Houston Texans. I don't know.
Or maybe it's not even Houston because it's a question mark. Houston?
Oh, Randy said I was wrong about Houston, but there was another NFL guy. Thanks, Randy.
If only we had a Google machine that would tell us what that.
Oh, Gary Huggaboom. Yes, was a quarterback that was on Survivor Guatemala. Yes, Huggaboom played for Denver? No. Who did he play? Detroit? Who did he play for? I think he played for a lot of teams. Anyway, anything else we have to talk about this episode and favorite survivors and
Well, what's the
we never ranked KC. Yeah, we never ranked the season. We never how does this season
I think at the beginning of the season we all were in agreement that it was going to be we were really excited, right?
Right.
And we thought it would be a great season. I think it lived up to all the hype that I thought it would be.
I think it was a very, very good season, and considering everything that's happening around us, that it's the perfect season for this distraction.
Yeah.
I'm
and also what happened after last season.
Then that too.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to ask you guys what you think on this. So because of the current situation going on in the United States, do you think that this season of Survivor ended up getting more people maybe coming back to Survivor because they have nothing else to do? Do you think it could have hooked them back in? Because I know sometimes, their ratings are not what they were once, but...
No, there's not getting 50 million people watching now.
So I just wonder if this helped them.
It didn't hurt. I didn't check the ratings. I usually I'll check but I didn't check the ratings this season at all. But I could imagine it probably did get a bounce back up because it was a fun season.
It was fun. They would, if they were flipping around, they used to watch but didn't watch anymore. Maybe they'd recognize someone and want to watch, or at least go, "Oh, it's the winners. It should be pretty good."
I would say if you looked at the ratings, you're going to probably see you blocked my hand. You would see an increase in ratings as it went around.
So it's not a plateau. The ratings. You think they'd be? That?
I get where you're going. I see where you're going with that. Jerry said, I think another rule they should change. It should be a secret if you're playing the immunity idol, so others can't play theirs based on that. It's how it used to. It used to be after the vote, right? It used to be you could play it after the vote. I do like that you can play. If you're going to play the idol, I think it should be a secret. That you play it at you drop it in the urn.
Yeah. I think that would be really cool.
And Jeff goes, someone played an idol. Of course, he knows who did it. And everyone's like, oh, who played an idol? Who played it? So I do like that, Jerry. I think it's a good idea.
That'd be interesting. I like it.
Just making random objects in the game idols.
No, but I like that fact because yesterday when Natalie played her idol, of course, Tony played his, Ben played his. What if they don't know she has an idol? She doesn't play her idol. It's a different.
Been like, Natalie, go long. Throw it in there. Here's another one.
I like that idea of having the idol be a secret, where you go up there and you drop it into the the urn that the voting thing, and then as it just someone played an idol, and then the whole time people are going, oh my God, who played the idol? Is it someone we voted for who we didn't vote for?
But then does that stop any and all discussion that could have been because you didn't tell me you had an idol. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so Jeff is basically announcing that a hidden idol is in play, but you don't know who played it.
Right.
So it's almost like I don't know if I like that because then does that create dynamic?
Well, I think it makes it more of a challenge because you have to go, okay, I know he has an idol. I know he has an idol. Are they going to? You always have to worry. Are they going to play their idol? But this is like, okay.
How about if you get an idol, don't tell anyone.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is we'll take Jerry's idea and you say, okay, he reads all the votes off, but he doesn't say the vote doesn't count until the end. He goes, JP got 6 votes. They don't count. He played his idol, and everyone goes, oh my God, no. To me, that's more interesting and also the viewer doesn't know either. We don't see the person put the idol into so we don't know who played it either. If you're going to have idols, I think there needs to be something different with it.
But then we'll be sitting here every Wednesday night saying, oh, production changed something.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, they could show it like they show the votes at the end of you have to go on their website to see the votes now. Just see the votes.
It's like when it's like when the Amazing Race just like randomly throws a pit stop in the middle of a leg because they just want to get rid of the last place team.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ohio State says, when do you guys think season 41 will realistically be filmed and aired? I say
I think it
may
will
air spring 2021.
I think it'll definitely air after season 40.
I think you're right.
I don't think so, JP. I don't think so. I think they're going to go to 42 and then come back to 41. That's the twist.
I think season 41 should be season 39 redo.
Just put an asterisk on 39. Just skip it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an unlucky number.
Just like that no-hitter that umpire.
Four-way flasher made a good comment. If I was writing down someone's name and saw on Survivor and I saw the idol in the box, I'd take it and save it for later.
But they must, after every single person votes and puts their name in there, but production must go and take that out and reset for the next person to put their vote.
I guess you'd know who had played the idol too, because if you're the second person, there's an idol in there. Oh, Bob played his idol. I guess they would have to take it out, wouldn't they?
Right. But don't you think they're doing that with the votes right now?
I always thought so, because you can't. I mean, there's a chance that the jug or whatever it is the urn could overflow.
Or like you open it up. And
plus you can see the votes.
Right. You can kind of see in there what the other person wrote. Maybe
that's a good point.
Do you mean when they're laying them in there? Well, the person who voted right before you is the one that's on top, most likely. Yeah. And if you can see what they voted, then I don't know.
I think you're right. I think that they must take it out and put it in order for Jeff to make it easy for him to read the votes. Golden Hermit said, I think this should be the last season of Survivor.
But then this will be the end of the Crazy Hank Survivor recap show.
Listen, guys, I got you covered. I have already pitched to Jack and JP the idea for our new show we're going to recap every week.
I'm not going to binge watch Super Nanny.
No. Naked and Afraid, extra large. It's
that just scares me. I don't know if I want to.
I experience that every day in my life at 9 a.m.
Well, extra large. What are they talking about?
Yeah, when you said that, I'm like going, I don't know if I wanted to see that.
That's literally the name of the show. It's pretty.
I've never seen an episode of Naked and Afraid.
And now I think I watched one time.
I had to watch it when I didn't have cable or internet.
You didn't have to. It's not right.
They were like pulled his eyes open, all Clockwork Orange style. Watch it.
Randy says, I don't want Survivor to end. It's still my regular network TV show.
You know what? It's been a constant for us for a really long time.
It's one of the few network shows I watch. Like I guess like Randy, I don't watch a lot of network shows anymore.
I watch so many streaming services and premium channels that.
If you cover Naked or Afraid, you have to do the recaps naked. I don't know.
No,
I don't know if YouTube allows that. So
I guess I probably won't allow that.
How do you know I'm not?
I was thinking we could all do our drawings. The person that we could show our drawings on air of our reenactment of what we saw that week.
Yeah.
About as naked as you'd see on there, I think.
My wife says one time at band camp, I watched Naked and Afraid.
Oh gosh. By yourself, right?
I'm sure he did, yeah. Or Jerry says, or Jack without.
Wait, so now I gotta know from Mike what instrument he played, because this could be way funnier.
Anyway, have we covered enough?
We haven't discussed more, but I don't think that I don't think Jack's really that interested in it.
I did make my picks though.
You did.
You know what I made them? I've been having trouble sleeping. It's a shocker. And I woke up like at 3:30 in the morning the day of, and I went,
oh my gosh.
I haven't made my picks yet. So I went and made my picks.
Missed out on the bonus points.
You know what? You can't go out of there. You can't close the season any other way. It's just how you've played it. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, true to form. Well done. Consistency.
Jerry says, great show, guys.
No.
Flugelhorn.
Flugelhorn.
Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, so we had to do 2 picks. They had technically what they called episode 14 and 15 for last night. So 14 was just the who would get back in the game and that.
I was right. I was right on that.
I think a lot of us were right. Let's see. Of the people who picked the mystery, who would? No, wait. That was the reward. Yeah. I guess only Jack and I had it. Oh, no, Maggie had her also. So
no, only 3 people had Natalie.
Maybe that wasn't the one of the questions here, and I'm trying to figure out because I thought it was the mystery question, but it looks like it was not.
No, the mystery question was who was he going to talk to first?
Yeah, which I also got right. Thank you very much. So we ended up not.
I don't remember the questions. I was half asleep.
Yeah. So we had just for the week, Carol, Maggie, Jack went at the bottom, Ro, Randy, JP, and I actually did the best for that episode, which was pretty amazing. Because if I had done that every episode, I maybe could have won.
You were, if you could just go by the standings for episode, what would be episode 14?
Mm-hmm.
You took over first place.
I know. Right. If you just look at that, it's like, I got very excited when I looked at 14. I was like, oh my God.
So you Sarah'd it.
I don't know how I did it. I don't know.
No, you choked it at the end.
Oh, yeah, at the end, because I had Natalie winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I think if you had picked Tony, you would have won the whole thing.
Yep. So,
we forgot to mention that Natalie did the right thing, because what we said that whoever comes over has to bash Tony, has to say Tony is the guy to beat, but unfortunately he had an idol, he had a strong alliance, and he had too many things going in his favor, and he won immunity too, so that helped.
No, Jack, you called that exactly how it was going to go down.
And she did it. I go perfect, but unfortunately Tony had too much.
Yeah, if he hadn't, but his reaction was like, "Oh, wait a minute, someone's on to me." Oh,
but even Ben goes, "Well, how do we know that's true?" I go, Ben, God, jeez, wake up.
Here's the thing. I think this happens every season, or the majority of seasons. You have the people who are in there and they haven't been out and back in. Right? So they've been in there and they're trudging away day after day doing this thing, and I think they lose all sight of what's really going on there. Like
I think so. Yeah.
They don't have any self-awareness anymore. They see what they're doing, and they think their perception is that they know everything that's going on, and they're doing the most. But everyone thinks they're playing an awesome game at that when you get to that point.
I know Ben thought he was.
He absolutely did. And you look at it and go like, wait a minute, here's this person who just entered the game. she has information that we will not have. So maybe I should befriend her and see what she tells me. And
I mean, obviously, she's not going to tell you everything because Sarah goes, she would have told me if she had an idol. When Sarah, I go, Sarah. No, she's not.
She comes in the game and she says, "Oh, I'm just letting you know, everyone at Tribal or everyone on Island Extinction, they all are voting for Denise. She's winning this thing." You might go like, "Oh, come on. What are you talking about?" No, she came in and she said, they're voting for Tony.
Tony's running. Yeah, he's running the show.
All of them went, no.
Tony was so right about everything. And here they are. They're both police officers. And I think I said it yesterday. I hope Sarah is not up for being a detective in her police department.
I'm sure Sarah has many fine intellectual qualities that help her in her job. The two of them should team up. Maybe they would be the yin and yang to be the perfect police. She's
actually usually. I was shocked by how Sarah was at the. Like I said, it seemed like she just got flustered after Tony got Sophie out. It just changed her. She wasn't the same after it. Because she always was smart. She was always one step ahead. Miami Mike says Ben, Sarah, and Denise didn't think Edge Person would get an idol after all the negative feedback after Chris won last time. Yeah, but you can't. You have to think. Okay, like I was agreeing with Tony. We have to think she has an idol.
In that situation, maybe you just talk yourself. You can talk yourself into either or, whichever you think is going to be less scary. And maybe Tony's super paranoid. So he trusted his gut, but they were like, "Oh, I hope not, because then my team's dead." I don't know.
But the plan he was offering, splitting the vote, was a no-brainer, right? It just Ben didn't want to vote for Denise. I'm like going
because he has some like super secret heavy alliance with Denise that he can never write her name down. No, you're right. I didn't understand
Denise would have respected the move. I don't think she would have been mad.
Yeah, that was really weird. Ben's weird. I can't figure him out.
Yeah.
Patrice is super slow guy.
Ben cleaned up very nicely though.
So
I liked his post-game beard.
Ben?
Yeah.
It was so hard for me to try and see those little pictures of Zoom. It was so hard. I did notice it.
I thought he looked like a cleaned up Unabomber.
I might have to go back and read that.
I'm kidding, Ben. I'm just joking.
But then for who had – so 3 people put that Tony would – or excuse me, 4 people put in the league said that Tony would win. And that was Randy, JP, Maggie, and Bro. But of those 4, only one had Tony as their MVP also for like the last – it looks like the last 10 weeks.
I forgot to change it.
So that means she really racked it up on that. So that was episode. But the standing overall for the year, for this season, is Kelly in 9th place, David Gott in 8th, Jack Glatfelter in 7th.
I beat the Gott man.
You did.
Carolyn. Wait, can I say something, Gott? That's twice now. I beat you in fantasy football, and I beat you in this. There. That's all I'm saying.
Bragging rights. In 6th place was Carol. In 5th place was Maggie, and she jumped. I mean, she started way late.
Or she started 2 or 3 weeks behind.
Episode 3, yep. And then I was in 4th. Randy was in 3rd. Ro was in 2nd, and that leaves the winner of this year's Bragging Rights Challenge to the man with 2 balls in motion, Mr. JP from New Jersey.
Oh my God, I couldn't have done it with the little people.
So it's a New Jersey win this year. You had Tony and now JP.
It's a sweep.
It is a sweep.
Finally, New Jersey has something to be proud of, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. New Jersey. I'm kidding.
We're getting there. We're working on it.
At least you're not Long Island, so. Yeah.
Oh, you just burned Long Island?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just know that. Never mind.
We're better than Florida.
Those are my people. Well, those are my people too.
You are completely right.
But all the people that were her people were all from New Jersey. And it was like, well, they're my people. No, you're over there. You're not over there with them.
The gambler, Kenny Rogers, 7th place. Yeah. Only Jerry and I get that one. Let's see. JP is the boss.
Don't tell him that we are not giving him a raise. No.
It was crazy that all the final 3 were from New Jersey. Huh. Were they? I didn't even know that.
You know what? Production interfered. I call a rat.
Yeah.
Wait, are they from? Is Natalie in?
A New Jerseyan as well? Apparently, Jerry says so. So it must be true.
No, it wasn't Jerry. It was Ohio State for the win.
Oh, sorry, Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Oh.
No, I always add because they always say anytime the players on NFL, they always the Ohio State University.
No. I want to know also when they were doing the voting results. You had Tony with his family, you had Michelle with her sister, and then you had Natalie with like some guy she just met on Tinder.
That's her fiance, that boyfriend.
Is that her fiance? I thought Jeff said it was like her new boyfriend.
I thought he said
maybe it's a new boyfriend.
I thought he said husband.
No, it was boyfriend. Because you don't see after they announced Tony wins, he's no longer there. He left.
He picked the wrong sister.
Well, the other one's got a baby, so
I did say I was saying last night because it was almost like watching the Oscars because literally you have their faces are so close up, like, and you had Natalie like this when she's ahead. It's 4-3, 4-4, and then 5-4. You can see her going.
Yeah,
that's going away. Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of I'm not she was bad sport, but I think it was you think, okay, I got 4 votes to Tony's 3, and that's 4-4. Then when Tony got the other vote, you're okay. Now it's going to start going the other way, and she knew. Michelle was like this.
Yeah, she looks so beautiful. She looks so beautiful. Anyway,
I was going to say kudos to Tony, who. When the votes started going his way, he wasn't like prematurely. He wasn't prematurely celebrating. He wasn't gloating.
No, he just kept saying, "Come on."
Or he kept talking to his kids.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt like he was bringing his kids
along. Excited. He kept like saying things to them, like they were getting excited. Oh, that's one more for Daddy. That's So that was super cute. I did want to say that I noticed when Ben hugged Jeff, Ben told Jeff, "I'm going to hug you." When he got voted out, when they snuffed him.
Yep.
Right.
It's hard not to like Ben.
Nobody hugs Jeff, right? Jeff doesn't hug them.
No, but he's a likable guy. He's just not a good player.
No, but he's a likable guy, except I guess for Jeremy.
Well, that was funny when he goes, "I came here to make friends," and they went right over to the jury and showed Jeremy, and Jeremy's like.
Well, I don't think he went there to make friends. I think during the course of the game, when there was no way for him to win, he had to. Well, maybe he didn't know. Never mind. He thinks those people are his friends. But I just thought it was really cute when he hugged Jeff because if I was Jeff, I'd be like, "Can I give you a hug later? Like once you get over there and take a shower?" Because, and then he yelled. Did you hear he yelled? Yeehaw!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry asked, "What did you think of Sarah's speech?" I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Her speech was
a lot of people are saying. I saw a lot of people online that were saying it was crafted to get jury favor, but I'm like, nah, I believed her. I thought she was telling the truth.
No, I think it was from the heart. I think maybe she might have been motivated to speak up and say something that she was already thinking or feeling.
Now it's a shame that people watch the game and go, "Oh, that guy's in this or this." I mean, obviously, there's a guy last season that, okay, we can all agree that he was a piece of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say that someone is cutthroat, that's to me a compliment because that's part of the game.
Yeah,
you have to have the ability to just you're hanging out with this person and then boom, you cut their legs out from under them. I respect that because that's the game. You have to do it to win. And I would never. I mean, I'd be pissed at the time, but at the end, I'd be like, okay, yeah, they got me. What am I gonna do? They got me.
She did a really great job of calling Jeff out. You call male, I don't get called by my last name. And when he called her again, she said, "That's Lucina."
But I know he's called someone, a female, by their last name, and I can't remember who it is.
Wentworth. He always calls her Wentworth.
Wentworth, yeah.
And Wigglesworth, but that's only because they played the same season and there were two Kellys, so I think he called them both by their last name, right? When were they on that one season together?
But I thought there was I think if you have a cool last name, I mean, he's not going to call me Gladfelter. I mean, that name is just it's too complicated. It doesn't roll off. Yeah, it doesn't roll off your tongue. I mean, it's like
Sunburn Jack.
Yeah. Oh, and they said that the time when Sarah and Michelle and Natalie were doing the wire thing, the wire ball, whatever you call it.
The balls in motion.
What did you call it?
Balls in motion.
Is that what it's really called?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, so when they're doing that, they said that they were both playing at 5 balls for quite a while, right? And he did make the comment that this was the most balls this game had gone to. So, and that was 2 women in the finals right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was they knew how to hit the balls 5 at a time.
Jerry said, I never felt there was a different view based on man, woman in Survivor. In fact, I think it's unique in the way people are looked at in Survivor. Yeah, for the most part, I guess I agree.
Ooh, Mighty Mac with the statistics. What?
But men have won 12 of the last 15 seasons, but they couldn't win without the women voting for them. Right? Because usually
there's a lot of factors there. You'd have to go back and you'd have to figure out what the ratio between men and women is for each one of the seasons that a man won, and then what was the man to woman ratio in the jury. And
it's more the jury because they start out equal men and women.
But if you get into jury and there's more men on the jury than women, and the men are voting, then you start to go, well, it is the jury, but the problem's in the jury too because women. I mean,
last night it had to be pretty equal, right? Well, Sandra quit, so if Sandra doesn't,
the final 6 was 4 women and 2 guys, and my daughter and I were sitting there watching it. And we were like, "Yeah, girl power!" And then no, it didn't happen. So, oh well. Wah, wah.
Anyway, it is what it is. But when people say they're the best players of all time, a lot of women are put up there opposed to the men. So, I mean, Poverty, Sandra.
Oh, yeah.
I think the thing about Sarah, and I don't know if this gets you, but when she's given her speech, she's a good talker. I do like Sarah a lot, so this is not a detraction from her. But she kind of scares me. She gets this look in her eye that is just like, right? It's okay. And it's a little scary. Yeah, I would not mess with her.
Maybe it's her police officer, and maybe it's a police officer because you have to sometimes have an intimidating look.
She has like a dead stare, crazy look.
Because I've been told when I get upset, my family's told me I have a look that I could kill them, and I go, I don't know what that look is, but I know I've done that when I was reffing. People would go, okay. Because I'm just like, okay, you've hit me in the head 10 times. You're done. Breaking of a fight, but
I just always look this cute.
Okay. It's not just me. Several other people think she has kind of crazy eyes too. Okay.
Crazy eyes.
I mean, she uses it. She works it. But I would not mess with Sarah at all. I would have been afraid of her. No. If I knew her in real life. I'd be very afraid of her.
Jerry said, I thought she was going to beat the crap out of Tony a few times.
Yeah. That was my.
Anyway, this show has gone on almost longer than a Ramblecast.
Oh no, it has not.
We're an hour and 38 minutes.
Sorry, guys. Big episode.
It's been a great season. We have terrific turnout with the chat. I want to thank the chat.
Yeah, the chat is the most exciting part of the show. But I want to say we've been doing this 2 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually learn stuff when I come in and talk with you guys. Something I didn't think about. There's certain things, and of course with the chat, it's been fun. I hope they come back in the fall because this has been fun.
No, it's been really fun for me too, and I really enjoy it. And for the exact same reason, it's so interesting to see what other people's point of view is because other people will catch different things or have a different way of looking at it, and I love it. Thanks, guys.
Because I don't learn anything with podcasting with Jay. I mean, I just learned he's going to quit.
Faster. Let's go. Move it.
And that Colleen didn't know this show was 2 hours yesterday. It was 3 hours, and she had maybe one drink too many. I don't know.
You don't even notice.
It was one of these situations where she was like, good time, fun girl. She's having a great time. And like, you were just going with it because whatever. And Jay's going, oh my God, I'm going to have to deal with this when we're done. Right? We've all been that. Oh, my partner has.
Yeah. You don't ever want to be the designated driver when you're with a family member, with, a loved one. Right. Because you're going to have to deal with, and my wife's had to deal with, because she's the designated driver. She's had to deal with me. So, I get that, but Jay's also, and I was tired last night too, but I was like, it was, I thought it was funny. It was, the emails were hilarious, but
very good. But yeah,
I'm gonna do
great stories.
I'm going to do a quick shameless plug to kind of reality TV related. Okay. If you are looking for a little bit of filler and you happen to be a fan of Big Brother like we were, Nicole from Big Brother has a podcast now. It's called the Hello Friends podcast. It's about an hour every day. I've listened to every episode, and it is amazing.
Iced tea. Every week mine is iced tea. It's a big cup, and it's always iced tea.
So Nicole has it's what's it about?
It's her talking to her friends.
It's her and her friend Eric talking. It's just kind of like a rambling show, but it's called Hello Friends.
And you get to learn all kinds of juicy tidbits about Nicole. She slips and gives personal data.
Well, so all these people now are doing like Ramblecast shows.
They're all copying the Ramblecast.
Yeah,
of course they are. It's all about, what is it? The best form of flattery is imitation.
I guess.
Oh, that's what
So it's on every day. Golden Hermit says I listen to Hello Friends every morning.
7:00 every morning they drop a new episode.
Wow.
They
do it live, or is it?
Well, I mean, nobody's got anything else to do right now. Well, I guess some people.
They're all pre-recorded, but it's they're a lot of fun. It's a couple episodes are not safe for work. Today we learned about solving murders. I mean, it's interesting. I'm definitely hooked. It's on my playlist.
Next time I get together with my sister, I can just mic her and we just talk about whatever we already talk about. Then I'll just throw it up as a podcast.
Yeah, it's a podcast.
I would listen maybe once.
I'd see what you guys are talking about. Probably a lot of complaining about other family members or how people are stupid. How people are stupid, but all the ways people are stupid. But anyway.
I know the Married Man Show did a drunk podcast on purpose in Vegas. So it might have been the first.
Yeah. Listen, I listened to that whole entire thing, and it was so hard to follow what was going on. I might have got about half of it, but
it was hit or miss.
What's going on? I want to understand what's going on. Oh yeah.
Well, we literally had probably about 20 people from the casino that we didn't even know were drinking with us and followed us up into the room. Oh, so that's why it's so loud. It was like, okay, it was a good idea. You got to try. Yeah. But we were down there just like, don't. Okay, are we ready? So anyway, it was fun.
You got to experiment sometimes.
Yeah, but it was like 50-50. People said, I give you guys, but anyway. But that's it. I think, again, thanks for everyone who was in the chat today. We'll be back as soon as Survivor comes back, because this has been a blast. And
unless we come up with some other crazy, great, fantastic, brilliant idea.
So Naked and Afraid XXX large.
Maybe.
So.
They can stay out there a long time without any food, though, right?
Right. The Ohio Safety, you guys recap any other shows? No.
Well, you can subscribe to the Crazy Hank TV channel and watch a variety of. You learn how to cook with Cindy.
Mm-hmm. Big Brother. JP and I did Big Brother. I watched JP. I watched Big Brother for the first time ever.
The noob.
Yeah.
Naked and Afraid. I would wear it. Could I wear a yarmulke?
Where are you going to wear it? It'd be like a
Anyway,
They don't.
we're at an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, we got to go to bed.
Let's go
I
all,
get it, Jay. I get it.
all night.
No, I'm an hour behind you guys, so it's still,
Jerry says there's no coping with Cindy. I get it. Like she bought that stupid frog. I don't know.
I like the frog.
She's back to work one day. I have Kohl's. I have Kohl's cash. She always has Kohl's cash for everything. I got Kohl's cash. I'm like,
But how
Yeah,
did you get Kohl's cash?
you had to
You have
spend
to
money to
buy
get.
something to get the Kohl's cash.
Yes,
And if you
my,
have the Kohl's cash, use it to buy something that's necessary and not. I'm
And
in
then-
your corner.
and Tamara went out and bought the same frog.
Now you won't know whose house you're at. Great.
And then another guy who I used to work with his mom years ago, and I used to work with him years ago. He has the same frog. He sent me a picture of it today. I'm like going, what's the deal with this frog?
Maybe I'll wake up one morning and find
Now
out.
she did say she bought it for Ava, and Ava, my granddaughter. So
Right, but is
Ava,
Ava taking it home?
no, but she came out and Ava talked to that frog for like 15 minutes.
Oh,
Literally was
okay.
talking to the frog. So
Is it as tall as she is?
One-sided.
no, it's a little. She's taller than the frog, and then so she was having this conversation and she has some words you can understand, and a lot of it's still gibberish. But she was having a great time. Randy says you needed a Christmas pig. Cindy hated the Christmas pig.
When we
Cindy
when we were kids, we convinced my stepbrother that he had another brother that lived in our chimney, and he used to talk to the chimney.
You call him Santa?
No. We didn't
Your brother Chris lives in the chimney.
Come on, Christy. We weren't idiots. We knew Santa didn't exist.
Spoiler alert.
Your little brother didn't know, apparently.
Jerry
didn't
says
know
if the
there
gab comes in the Gladfelters. Anyway, I think it's time to wrap this thing up.
Yep, cut it.
Good job, guys. Great season. Again,
Fun season.
thanks everyone in the chat.
Thank
And
you.
we'll be-
Pat.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be back sometime in the future.
Subscribe and look out for those tweets when we send them out.
Yes. Bye, everybody.